Let's paint a different picture. The power grid has been dark for 72 hours. You're on the 12th floor. The elevator? It's a silent, steel coffin, useless. The only way in or out is the stairwell, and that concrete shaft has become an echo chamber for things you don't want to identify. It's been hours since you heard a siren, but you can hear footsteps, a lot of them, moving floor to floor. You hear a loud bang from 2 doors down, then screaming, then silence. It's your neighbor from 12F. Now the footsteps are shuffling again, coming closer. It's your other neighbor, the friendly one from 12B. But he doesn't look friendly. He looks hungry. And he knows you bought that extra case of water. You look at your solid apartment door. You always thought you were safe up here, high above the chaos. You were wrong. You are not safe. You are trapped. In a high-rise crisis, your apartment isn't a fortress. It's a concrete box with a lid. It's a death trap. Let's talk about that door. It's a heavy, solid core fire door, right? It feels strong. It's an illusion. Its greatest strength is its greatest weakness. Unlike a suburban home with a thick wooden frame you can drive long screws into, your door is set in a thin metal frame. Go ahead. Take a look. That strike plate, the little metal piece your deadbolt slides into. It's held in place by 2, maybe 3, pathetic little half-inch screws. And what are they biting into? Not solid wood. They are biting into sheet metal that is barely thicker than a tin can. One good pry bar. Not even a kick. Just a $10 crowbar wedged between the door and that flimsy frame. One hard yank, and the entire lock assembly, the deadbolt, the strike plate, everything, will pop right out of that metal like a cork from a champagne bottle. They won't even have to break a sweat. And your peephole? That tiny window to your world? It's not just for you to look out. It's for them to look in. A simple, cheap tool called a reverse peephole viewer, available on Amazon right now, allows anyone in the hallway to see everything you are doing. They can see you're home. They can see you're alone. They can see you're scared. But we are going to fix this, right now, with what you have. Phase 1. The door. This is 99% of your defense. In an apartment, the hallway is the only battlefield that matters. Forget the windows for a second. The door is everything. First, those screws. You still need longer, stronger screws. But not just wood screws. You need self-tapping metal screws. Or even better, lag bolts if you can find them. You need to replace those half-inch jokes in your strike plate and your hinges. Drive them deep. You want them to go through the flimsy metal frame and, if you are lucky, bite into the structural concrete or steel studs of the building's skeleton behind it. We are not attaching the door to the trim. We are anchoring this door to the goddamn building. Second, the hinges. Same principle. If your door swings out into the hallway, your hinge pins are exposed. A criminal can just tap those pins out and lift your entire door off, no matter how good your lock is. You must secure those pins. You can do this by partly backing out one screw from the hinge plate on the door and one from the plate on the frame, and driving a framing nail or another hard screw into the hole opposite it, letting the head stick out. When you close the door, that nail head will set into the opposite hole, acting as a makeshift stud. Even if they knock out the pins, the door is still locked in place. Third, the barricade. Your suburban friend can use a chair. You can too. But we can do better. A door security bar, the kind that braces against the floor and hooks under the knob, is ideal. You don't have one? Fine. A heavy-duty rubber doorstop, the kind janitors use, jammed hard under the door, can add precious seconds of friction and noise. The goal is to make opening the door a loud, jerky, and frustrating process. Fourth, the peephole. When you are not actively looking through it, it must be covered. A simple piece of duct tape from the inside works. A small magnetic peephole cover is better. A sticky note. Anything. Blind them. Deny them information. Make them guess. That uncertainty is your first psychological weapon. Phase 2. The other doors. Your balcony and your fire escape. You're on the 10th floor, so you're safe from window breakers, right? You're an idiot. Your balcony is nothing but a ladder for the desperate. All it takes is one person on the 9th floor, and they can climb up. Or worse, someone on the roof can rappel down. Your sliding glass door is the exact same architectural joke as the one on the ground floor, and it's probably even weaker. It can be lifted right off its tracks in 10 seconds. We use the same fix. First, the classic. Cut a piece of wood. A broomstick, a 2A4, a piece of shelving. Jam it in the track. The door will not slide. Simple, effective. But we go further. A smart attacker will just break the glass. So, we use the gray miracle worker, duct tape, a full grid pattern, edge to edge. When they smash that glass, it won't shatter. It will spiderweb. It will become a sticky, jagged, clinging jigsaw puzzle of knives that they have to tear through, piece by bloody piece. It will be loud, it will be slow, and it will cost them skin. And we go even further. Grab your drill. That door isn't just a slider, it's a lifter. We need to pin it. Drill a hole at a sharp downward angle, starting from the inside frame of the sliding door, going through it, and sinking deep into the fixed frame below or beside it. Now drop a heavy-duty nail, a long screw, or a thick bolt into that hole. The door is now pinned. They can't lift it off the track. They can't slide it. They can't pry it. They would have to smash the glass, deal with the tape, and then still be blocked by the frame itself. What about the fire escape? That window is not a window. It is your second front door, and it's probably secured by a flimsy, pathetic little latch a child could break. You treat it with the same brutal respect as your main door. It gets the full duct tape grid. It gets the drill and pin treatment, locking the window sash to the frame. And then you shove your heaviest dresser, your bookshelf, your bed, right in front of it. Make it an absolute nightmare to get through. Make it cost them time, noise, and blood. Now for phase 3, psychological warfare, the hallway. This is where we win the fight before it even begins. In a suburban house, your perimeter is your yard. In an apartment, your perimeter is your doorstep. The hallway is a shared, public, and extremely dangerous space. This is where we play mind games. Remember the boots by the door trick from the suburban plan? It is 10 times better here. A pair of massive, muddy, steel-toed size 13 work boots left just outside your door. What does this tell your starving neighbor from 12B? It suggests someone big, tough, and recently home is inside. Someone who is probably not afraid of confrontation and, more importantly, owns tools that can be used as weapons. You're not a scared accountant. You're a construction worker who just got off a double shift. Remember the fake the dog trick? Again, it's better here. Go find a massive, heavy-duty steel water bowl. Leave it by your door. Get a beware of pit bull sticker and put it right on the door above the peephole. Why? Because acoustics. In a concrete-walled hallway, a single bark sounds like a hellhound. It echoes. It sounds 10 times more threatening. Nobody wants to fight an angry, territorial pit bull in a narrow, enclosed hallway where they have no room to maneuver. You can even buy a cheap motion-activated barking dog alarm online for $20. It's the best money you'll ever spend. But here is the ultimate apartment trick, the kill shot. I call it the quarantine sign. Get a black permanent marker and a piece of paper. Get a red marker if you have one. Write in big, blocky, frantic letters. Warning, biohazard, quarantine protocol in effect. All residents inside are sick. Do not enter. CDC notified. Make it look official. Be specific. Maybe add symptoms, vomiting, high fever, rash. Now, tape this sign to your door.
Let's play this out. Your neighbor from 12B is starving. He's desperate. He's willing to fight you for that case of water. He walks down the hall, pry bar in hand. He sees your door. Is he willing to risk catching a deadly, unknown, and highly contagious virus for your canned goods? Absolutely not. Primal fear of disease trumps primal fear of starvation almost every time. You have just weaponized his own survival instinct against him. You have made your door the single most toxic, undesirable, and terrifying target on the entire floor. He will not touch your door. He will hold his breath.
He will back away slowly, and he will go try 12C. This is the key. You cannot control the lobby. You cannot control the stairwells. You cannot control the crazies or the desperate neighbors. You can only control your door, and more importantly, the perception of what is behind that door. This brings us to our last line of defense. Phase 4. The interior fallback, the citadel. Everything we've done buys you time. But if someone is determined, or just plain stupid enough to ignore your quarantine sign, they might get through. You need a safe room, the citadel. Pick one room in your apartment. A bedroom is best, preferably one without a fire escape window. You are already there at night. But here's the problem. That interior door is almost certainly a hollow core piece of junk. It's filled with cardboard. You can punch a hole through it. So we reinforce it. You can't use long screws. There's no frame. But you can buy a simple, cheap door security bar that braces against the floor. Or you can pre-drill holes in the floor and install heavy-duty drop-in brackets for a two-way 4, turning that flimsy door into a wall. Inside that room, you need your go bag. But this isn't a go bag. It's a stay bag. It needs a fully charged phone and a massive USB power bank. A powerful flashlight, your weapon of choice. And I don't care if it's a baseball bat, a can of wasp spray, or something more permanent. You need bottled water. You need snacks. You need a basic first aid kit. And you need a small pry bar, not to fight with, but to get yourself out if the door becomes blocked. Train your family. The code word, pineapple, thunderstorm. Something you would never, ever say by accident. The moment that word is spoken, everyone, no questions, no, what was that? No heroics. Everyone moves to the citadel. You lock it, you barricade it, and you do not make a sound. You call for help if you can, and you wait. Here's the beautiful, simple science of why this all works. You are not building an impenetrable bunker. You are playing a game of math. Criminals and desperate people operate on a simple, brutal risk-reward calculation. Your goal is not to be the safest apartment in the city. Your goal is simply to be the hardest door in the hallway. Every single thing you've done, the metal screws, the pinned slider, the duct-taped glass, the muddy boots, the fake dog, the quarantine sign, it's all just friction. It's a hassle. It adds time. It adds noise. It adds risk. When your neighbor from 12B, pry bar in hand, looks at your door, the math in his head will stop working. Too much risk. Too much noise, too much effort, and a terrifying chance of disease. He will look at your door, and he will keep walking. Let him try 12C. Your apartment is no longer a death trap. It's a fortress,